Good morning, and welcome to Chapel Chat. I'm Pastor Kevin Little, and this is the chapel at the Rantoul First United Methodist Church. Today we're going to keep our recent pattern of chatting about current events, except this time we're going to talk about recent shootings. In the past week, there have been multiple shootings around the country once again, but we're going to focus on the three that are tied to the victims being in the wrong place. In Missouri, a high school student went to the wrong house to pick his brothers up after school and was shot in the head. He survived. In New York, 4 people were in a car that turned into the wrong driveway, and while turning the car around, the property owner shot and killed one of the passengers in the car. And in Texas, a group of cheerleaders were shopping, and one of them mistakenly got into the wrong car, realized her mistake, and then got back into her friend's car. A person in the vehicle got out and shot 2 of them while they're already in the right car. Pastor Susan and I were discussing these events yesterday, and it seems like there are a couple of common threads in them. One of those threads, obviously, is guns in the hands of the people who pulled the trigger. And another one seems to be fear. The man who shot the teenager on his porch said that he was terrified. The man shooting the cheerleaders in the parking lot might have been startled by a random girl hopping into the car with him. And it's possible that the person on their porch was startled when a car pulled into their driveway unexpectedly. But were any of those situations good reasons to start shooting? We seem to be living in an ever-increasing state of fear. It's grown exponentially over the past few years. People became more afraid during COVID, and not just of the potential for contracting a life-threatening illness simply by going out to eat, but of everything. Adding to that, in my opinion, so feel free to disagree, is the news media's tendency to inflame things. People are coming into our country to murder and deal drugs. People are taking our jobs. They're taking our guns. They're trying to take away our freedom and the way we live our lives. The they in question here is poorly defined, but it's always somebody else, someone that doesn't look like us or doesn't live the way we live or believe the things that we believe. On top of that general feeling of a lack of safety, security, and stability, there are more shootings being reported than ever. There was a report in the news today about a group of teenagers assaulting someone and beating them. There are things happening in the world that are actually happening that we should be aware of and that we should have a healthy degree of caution and concern about. But when you add that reality to an inflamed perception of everything going to hell in a handbasket, it could lead to people overreacting, which I think is part of what we're seeing. It could also be tied into the enhanced divisiveness in our country and the world as well. Once again, over the past few years, this feeling has continued to grow. We dig in with our understanding of things and are less open to having conversations with those who disagree with us or aren't like us in some way. But what can we do about any of this? Well, we need to find common ground, but that is only possible by people actually speaking with each other. Jesus taught his disciples to let small slights go, to not respond to disagreements or disrespect with hostility. Tons of people disagreed with Jesus, and ultimately they killed him because of it. Let's not be like those people. James and John wanted to rain fire down from the sky on a town and wipe it off the face of the earth because they disrespected Jesus. But he wouldn't let them. Thank goodness they asked first. If they'd have had a gun at hand, maybe they wouldn't have. Peter chops off a Roman guard's ear when they captured Jesus. Jesus puts his ear back on and tells Peter to chill. When we shoot first and ask questions later, we're following the wrong example. In all of those moments, Jesus encourages communication and then moving on if things don't go your way. We aren't doing that anymore. Now, I'm going to say this, and you might disagree, and that's okay. Not everybody in this country needs a gun. It might be a fundamental right as some people understand it, but that doesn't mean that everyone should have access to firearms. We have to find a way forward that makes sense and keeps people alive. As I've been writing this, 2 people were shot here in Mantua last night, both of them under 20, and some reports are saying that one of them didn't make it. This is awful, and it has to get better. We have to find a way to look at the world with less fear and turn it around. We can see where it's going, and I don't think anyone wants that. But we have to take action. We have to have more sensible gun laws that help minimize these sorts of terrible events. We have to be less fearful in our daily lives. Whether that comes from getting to know our neighbors better, learning to look at the world a little bit differently, or following the teachings of Jesus. Find something that works for you and helps you feel better going out into the world. I don't have answers to these problems, and prayers are only going to do so much without action being taken too. Thanks for joining me for another Chapel Chat. I'll see you here again next time.